It's Live with Lynn at Camp Nano. I was just cooking some weenies, you know, because we have to, we have to improvise here so we don't leave the computer. You got to stay at the computer at Camp NaNoWriMo. We've got the Camp NaNoWriMo Lake here behind me. It's a beautiful view from my little cabin here, and up above it I've got the Word Count River. See? That's the Word Count Rivers. We got to stay on that river. Got to get the word count. And then I've got my paddle of creative ideas here, so this is helping me navigate through that Word Count River. And so far, it started yesterday, April 1st, and so far I'm ahead on my word count, so that's awesome. Right now, I'm at 5,792 words. Hi, Teresa. Great to see you. So, I'm doing okay. Today, we're gonna talk a little bit about Camp NaNoWriMo, and in a little bit, I've got a drawing. These are the names of the people who submitted names for the current series that I'm writing, and it's also the people that helped submit some story name ideas. So, we're going to do that here in a little bit, not right this minute. But anyway, I wanted to tell you, Camp NaNoWriMo, you set up how many words you want to do, and I signed up for 60,000 words. So what that means is you've got to write. You cannot use the delete key. You can't go back and read it. You can't go back and proofread. So I've got my edit repellent right here, so I'm ready to spray. If I'm thinking I got to go back and edit, I'll just spray it, and then I won't go back and do that. And then I've got my proofreading screen right here, so I won't go back and proofread. And that delete button, that sucker's offline, so don't touch it. And oh, I'm sorry, I was in the weeds a little while ago, but got some weeds here, but it's okay because the story's coming along now, and oh wow, I really got into those weeds a little while ago. So, but nope, we're okay now. Words are flowing. I'm over 5,000, almost 6,000 in 2 days. So the word goal for 2 days was 4,000, so I'm doing good. NaNoWriMo rocks. So anyway, you see I've got my my drink camel on me, so I've got my drink right here. I don't even have to get up out of this chair. And I got my little snacks back here. I got my little candle so I can cook me some food. All is well at NaNoWriMo here at the Donovan house. I wanted to let you know that, now I got fuzz in my face. I wanted to let you know that we're still going with Postponing Clone Chaos. It's going to be published in May. And we're going to have our release party on May 6th, which is my sister's birthday, Mary Polly. It's her birthday. So she may join us here in a little bit. And Teresa says hi. Hi, Teresa. So good to see you. And I told you I'd show you one of my weenie dogs, and you've already seen her. This is Deli. She's the one I told you. She's my white on rice. She's always in my lap. She's always around me. I've got some other ones around me somewhere, but I don't know where they went, so if they show up, I'll show them to you. Let's see. We're also working on the Phantom Horse series, and Phantom Horse Bridge series, let me say it correctly. And in that, we've got a page that we've established, and we're going to post that link to that page here in a minute. It's called Citizens of Phantom Horse Bridge. And I guess it's Citizens of Phantom Horse because the name of the town gets changed to Phantom Horse, Colorado. And on that page, we've got all kinds of fun stuff going on. One of the things that's coming up is that we're going to do, the three of us, the three authors, it's myself, hi George, good to see you, myself, George, who just signed on, and hi Carol, how are you? Okay, make a full sentence. George McVeigh, myself, and Robin Dieter. The three of us are writing Phantom Horse series Bridge, or Bridge series. I get it all mixed up. And so we're going to be interviewed. We've got this a wonderful interviewer named Parker Cole who has agreed to interview us. And the three of us are in 3 different states. But through the modern technology, we're going to be able to look like we're all in one place, and we're going to have the interview with Parker. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really interesting. We're going to be talking about Phantom Horse Bridge, our ideas behind it, where we're going with it, our characters, how we're developing our characters, and how we're all working together. Hey, cabin mate, that's right. In NaNoWriMo, we sign up for cabins, and we have certain people in our cabins, and George is in my cabin, and he keeps threatening to short sheet my bunk, but he hadn't done it yet. Okay, on Phantom Horse, on that Citizens for Phantom Horse, have we posted that? We have got a contest. I got something in my mouth when I put that thing in my mouth. I don't know how to do that. Anyway, we've got a contest. We want you to submit your favorite recipe, because we're going to put together, hi Heath, how are you? We're going to put together a cookbook, and we're going to publish the cookbook, and it's going to be a free book that's going to be submitted also at the same time as this series gets published. So it'll be something that'll be free to you. If we use your recipe, you will get credit for it. So your name will be in the recipe book as credit for it. Plus, what we plan on doing is we'll use your recipe in our story. So, like, if you gave us a recipe for cream of potato soup, somebody in one of the books somewhere is going to eat your potato soup, and it's going to be mentioned in there. So, that's going to be really cool. Hey, how are you? How are you? Good to see you, Heather. So, that's the cookbook contest. Also over there on the Citizens of Phantom Horse, we're going to be posting really all kinds of stuff relating to the story and talking to you guys about stuff. We're going to be telling you about our characters. We're going to be posting pictures of what we think our characters look like. We may be posting some snippets from pieces of it, and just different things like that. It's really a lot of fun. So if you haven't gone to Citizens of Phantom Horse on Facebook, we've got the link post right there. Go over there and join up, because it's, like I said, it's a lot of fun. And you can talk to us. You can ask us questions. The three of us are all involved on that site, so you can ask us anything you want to about our characters and various other things. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, last week I asked you to help me out, and I told you during the NaNoWriMo I was going to be writing 2 of the books from Java Cupid series. And I asked you to help me with naming characters and naming the books themselves. And you guys responded, and it was wonderful, and I thank you so much. So what I did was I printed out those 2 posts and the comments and your names. And so I put them all in a jar, and this is the jar. And so we're going to shake it up really good, and we're going to draw a name, and we're going to see who won. And this is going to be for a $10 gift certificate at Amazon. So let's see. We have a disembodied hand that's going to come around here and choose one of them for us. If he can get his hand in the jar. And the jar floated away. All right, here's our winner. Are you ready? Can I get a drum roll? Oh, I'm really excited about this, because this is a friend of mine from Facebook forever. And we are just such dear friends with one another, and we've never met each other because we live too far apart, but thank God for Facebook, right? It's Karen Tweet. Karen, I'm so excited. You won the $10 gift certificate. So I need you to PM me and let me know what your mailing address is, and then I'll get that sent to you right away. That's so fun. I love it. Karen won. How fun. Okay. Now, you know, I always read to you. And since what I'm working on is Java's Cupid, I thought that would be what I should read to you. So, let me move my little agenda out of the way. And you guys, you got to understand, this is raw stuff. This is like straight out of my brain into the computer. So, I cannot guarantee you how clean it is as far as grammar and typos and all that, but this is how it comes out of my brain and goes into the computer. And then later I go back and edit the dickens out of it, and then I have beta readers look at it, and then I have my grammar Nazi look at it, which you all know my grammar Nazi is Cindy Rule. Love you. Anyway, so here it is, raw, straight out of my brain. Literally, this was written yesterday. This is Book 1, Chapter 1, Scene 1, okay? All right, so this one is called Java Break of the Java Cupid series. Chapter 1. Welcome to Java Cupid Coffee Shop, where we heart our coffee. I don't want to get back on the horse, Dad. Wendy Ashton held her cell phone with her shoulder and opened the coffee house door. It was crowded today, and she didn't care. Caffeine and peace was all she sought, and the Java Cupid coffee shop had both. Look, I know what you're saying, she sighed, and took her place in line to order. I know you want what's best for me, but I'm not going skiing with you, or anybody else. Shifting her med-surg nursing book and sliding her purse back onto her shoulder, she took one step forward. I know you love me, Dad. I love you too, but I'm not. A young busboy bumped against her hard enough to cause her to stumble out of line. He held his dish tub with both short-fingered hands and looked at her with terrified, bulbous eyes. "I'm so sorry, ma'am." His words were thick and slow. Wendy's breath escaped in an agonizing sigh, but then she recognized he had special needs. She smiled graciously at the young man. "It's all right." In truth, the stumble shot pain through her knee and up to her hip and into her lower back. The doctors told her bone pain from a bad break like hers would always be present. In fact, they had prescribed a lengthy physical therapy which included 60% biofeedback and pain management. The last thing you want is to become addicted to pain meds. Learn to manage it this way, and life will be much more productive and healthy for you, Wendy, her physical therapist, Royce, told her more than once. In fact, he literally drilled it into her thinking at every session. He was as much of a cheerleader and aerobics enthusiast as a physical therapist. Empathy washed over her thoughts, and she turned to the busboy. He quickly cleared the table beside her. She touched his shoulder, and he jumped slightly. "I'm sorry," she spoke softly. "Are you all right?" He smiled a crooked smile. His lips seemed swollen and his mouth small. "Yes, all right." She smiled back and watched as he resumed clearing tables. "Yeah, Dad, I need to let you go." She moved 2 steps forward. "No, everything's fine. I just bumped into a busboy. That's all." She glanced over her shoulder to see his progress, but he was gone. An empty sensation filled her. Diligent worker he was. All the tables were cleared off, and he must have scurried to the back. She smiled with that thought and took another step forward. "Dad," she returned to her cell phone, "I'm at the coffee shop. I'll talk to you later." 2 more people ahead of her, and she moved up 1 step. "No, we won't talk about this later then." "I am not going skiing, Dad. You don't understand. I can't do anything like that ever again. It's not a matter of getting over my fear. It's all I can do to manage the pain I have now. And you really don't want me to make it worse." She lifted her eyes. The barista patiently leaned on the counter waiting for her to place her order. "Oh, I'm sorry." Heat flushed her face. She didn't mean to say that where everyone, especially this barista, could hear. She tilted her head and considered him for a moment. He seemed familiar. Where did she know him from? Had to be here. She never went anywhere except school, the hospital, and here. "Welcome to Java Cupid, where we love our coffee." He smiled. He had perfect teeth and a perfect face. "What can I get you?" Wendy lost all thought. His smile washed the words out of her mind. She glanced at his name tag, Dylan. Good morning, Dylan." She stalled for the words to come back to her. She ordered the same thing every morning. Usually it rolled off of her tongue. What was wrong with her today? I'll have a tall white chocolate caramel latte. Was that right? Her brow drew together. Give me a minute. I'll find my place. I moved it up now. I don't know where it was. Man, dadgum. I'm sorry. Here it is. Her brow drew together. It didn't matter. Caffeine was caffeine. Why couldn't she think of her normal order? You know what? She called to his back. Just make it a cappuccino hazelnut. He smiled and nodded. No problem. Turning to fill her order, she stared at his back. He had an athletic build. Wonder what he did for fun. She stared and glanced around. She started and glanced around. Did anyone notice her perusal of his body? Heat filled her cheeks again. She needed to get a grip. He set her cup on the counter. Here you go, one tall hazelnut cappuccino. She shifted her books to pull her purse down off of her shoulder, and she paid and took her coffee to the far booth where she could study and tune everything else out. The coffee shop had the perfect environment for her to study. The chatter and swooshing of the coffee machines quickly faded into white noise, and she focused on her readings. The nursing books were huge and required hours and hours of study, but it was worth it. She'd be an RN by next summer. Just 2 semesters to go and the state test. Then she'd be independent of her parents. Oh, they meant well. Ever since they divorced when she was 13, they had been trying to make it up to her with gifts and vacations. Her dad owned a 4-plex where he lived in one unit and he rented 2 of the others. He let her live rent-free in the 4th while she attended college. Her mother bought her a used Jeep Wrangler and paid the insurance. Wendy worked as a CNA while attending school, which was really a low-paying job, but it gave her gas and food and utilities money. She looked forward to a real salary where they could stop supporting her. She opened the tome, Med-Surg Nursing. The reading assignment was 5 chapters, and the class was at 10 o'clock. She had read 3 last night after work, but fell asleep. 2 more this morning, and she was ready for class. Piece of cake. She lifted the cup and took a sip. Something caught her eye. She held the cup out and really looked at it. The message slowly appeared. Someone had written it with a heat-sensitive pen because it wasn't there a minute ago. The words turned burnish against the white paper cup. I'm broken without you. She stared at the handwritten message. Did Dylan write this while his back was turned to her? She glanced at him across the room. He busily wiped the counter between customers and flashed a quick glance toward her. Their eyes met and he paused. The chatter and the machine's noise faded, and as did the people. There was nothing but Dylan. He smiled and tossed down the cleaning rag. His eyes followed the rag, and the spell broke, and all the chatter and swooshing resumed. She continued wiping the counter. He continued wiping the counter, and then spoke to the next person in line. She continued to stare at him. What just happened? She lowered her eyes to the cappuccino. The message faded to a yellow-brown. Wendy considered the words, broken without you. How did he even know her? Although he did look familiar. Why was he broken? That's it. I hope you liked that. Okay, so I want to remind you to please sign up for my newsletter. It goes out quarterly. And you'll be able to get a lot of information on stuff that I'm doing, plus stuff in my own private life. I'll tell you stories about my sister Leanne, my dogs, my chickens, whatever. You'll get stuff there that you won't get anywhere else. And then I also hope that you'll subscribe to my blog. My blog is where you're going to get snippets of things that I'm writing. You're going to get interviews with other authors. And just some other neat stuff that's going on that, again, I don't post it in other places. I post it there on the blog. So you really will miss out if you don't get the blog. I also want to ask you please to go to Amazon and go to my author page. We're going to post all those links here in just a minute. And if you see any of the books that I've published there that you think pique your interest, please buy them, because that really is the reason why I write, is so that you will buy my books and read them and enjoy them. So that's it for today. We are here at Camp NaNoWriMo, and we are typing, writing, not hitting that delete button, not editing, and not going back to proofread. Keep going. My goal is 60,000 by the end of the month, and I really hope that I make it, because so far I'm on track. So, guys, thanks for coming. I really appreciate you coming for the Live with Lynn on Sunday at 3 o'clock Mountain Time. I'll see you next Sunday. Yeah.